talking with Doug Varney, Director of Utilities and Director of the Department of Public Works here in South Lyon. Welcome, Doug. Good to see you again.
Thank you. Glad
So
to be
last
here.
time we talked, we were in person. We were talking about tours at the public waste facility, and I was thinking perhaps you could hand out samples there. Obviously, it was one of my worst ideas I've ever had. But since that time, we're no longer really able to meet in person anymore. A lot has happened now with this coronavirus. And so we thought we'd take a few minutes here today and just speak with you about some of the impact that's having within the Department of Utilities and Department of Public Waste as well. So let's start where I think a lot of people first start thinking of safety-wise is in the area of water and the safety of water. So let's kind of go there first and say, what concerns should residents have about, or should not have about water here in South Lyon?
Basically, to address that, I would say, in terms of the water, it's going to be the same product now as it was before. Nothing will change.
Okay.
It will still do all the same treatment. It's still 100% safe to drink. It will never, ever have any COVID-19 or anything related to it in it. Best we can tell and best any scientist can tell, that will never be an issue. So safety of the water will always be there. In terms of if you have a water issue or a water concern, a water problem, obviously we will be here to address that as well. DPW or the water side, one or the other. We can get your water turned off, turned on, whatever it needs to be. If you have a pipe break or any of those types of issues, we're still here 100% of the time to fix that. So
that's right, because you already have some sort of service here. So, and I think you were just mentioning a few minutes ago that you were actually addressing perhaps a water break last night or something like that.
Yes, we did have a little water issue. It wasn't a break, luckily, but we were on call just in case. A plumber had to do a repair to somebody here in town, and so we had to kind of do some follow through to make sure that water was not an issue, that everybody who has water, who's paying for water, is getting water, basically.
Sure. Great. Well, obviously, water concern sounds like it's basically none at this point in time. We're all safe to drink our water. Take showers. Please take showers. For those of you who are working from home and think you can just sit around all day in your pajamas, please do that. So water's safe. That's great. And you'll address any types of issues that come up like that. The other one that kind of extends kind of perhaps outside of my house, but to my front curb is the pickup of garbage and the pickup of yard waste. Talk to me a little bit about where that is. I know at some point in time, for some of us, the yard waste pickup was put on hold, but I think that might be coming back online as well. Where are we right now? Where do we stand with yard waste as well as garbage pickup?
So currently right now, in terms of we actually contract this out through GFL. And so there was a little bit of a hiccup there about a week ago, and now that has been resolved. So GFL is now continuing. They were kind of like on the fence, with this whole order coming down from the governor. We weren't 100% sure on yard waste, the whole department in DPW. What are we doing about yard waste? What are we doing about landscaping? These kind of things. So that issue has been addressed. It has been covered, and it should be remaining as it always has with GFL. You follow their procedures for the clippings and everything else. They will pick up everything, the GFL folks. Our guys, in terms of the brush collection, we're delaying that for right now. We don't want to have two guys operating a chipper on the back of a vehicle. You have to have two guys, obviously, within a proximity of one another. And so we're trying to limit our staff in any way we can. We're trying to be conducive to both our staff and to the residents. And so we're delaying the brush collection. We will collect brush, and we have. We've come up with other methodologies. The guys were creative enough on the fly to say, hey, we could do this with a Bobcat and a couple other pieces of equipment. And so that's what they did in areas where people had giant brush piles out there that we knew GFL wouldn't get. And so my order to the department then was, let's just bring everything back. We can ship it on site at the facility at 520 Ada. So in cases where there are brush, we can make this work too. So
Great.
Just as an FYI to the residents, we are still here for you guys.
And you just brought up staff there as well, because I know, at least within City Hall, being essential workers, essential employees, we're very cautious as to the interaction with the public and so forth. What impact has that had on your department?
So as well as City Hall, they kind of led the way in terms of, and that's how it's been really from day one from this whole virus spreading and doing what it's doing. We're kind of trying to be as proactive and as little bit of a reactive as we can. So City Hall was kind of the first to say, I think we should probably start locking our doors maybe. And so we were one of the first to say, yeah, let's do that. Then other cities started following in line. And we were kind of a little bit tip of the sword on a lot of these things. And so City Hall said, I think we should lock our doors, make everything by appointment. And then all the city buildings here within the city of South Lyon started doing the same thing. And then weeks later, the edicts came out from the county. And so we were a little bit ahead of them, but we were kind of always kind of teetering on the side of what do we do next? We've already done putting a hand sanitizer in all of our vehicles. We've already limited our staff to one person per vehicle. We've kind of done all these implementations. But myself and the manager have discussed in different ways and we can remedy and make things safe and do what we can on the fly. And so now we're still here. We're going to answer phone calls. We're going to try to get people's water turned off for an emergency repair, things like this, and also restore everybody's water who doesn't have water for, say, non-payment, whatever the case may be. So we are doing everything we can to make this as smooth as a transition for this period for however long it lasts until we can kind of turn things up or over a little bit, get the wheels rolling again and have the doors open and be a little bit back to normalcy. But We're trying to keep a semblance of that here still, no matter what, in both departments. So. Yeah.
So now, obviously, people are often aware of the water aspect of it and the waste treatment of it. People are aware of the garbage pickup and so forth. Talk to some of the other ones. Obviously, last time we talked a little bit about the parks here in town or the mowing that goes on right now. How are you handling that?
So essentially what we're doing with that right now, we're suspending everything in terms of landscaping. In terms of getting on a mower and having our guys actually mow lawns, it's a little early still right now. We're luckily, nature's graced us a little bit. We don't have to get out there and start chopping everything right now, right? We can put this off a little bit. So we're, whether or not, whatever the state's going to decide, we recognize these are our lawns. We could mow them when we need to. And so we're going to eventually, but we don't know when that is. So until further notice, that's suspended. But we are trying to maintain the path. Obviously, we know that people are going to use the path. It's a wonderful resource here for the community. Unfortunately, the parks have been closed. The actual play devices there at McCaddy, we had to caution tape those off. But we're asking people to obviously be patient. We're going to get those back sooner or later. But until we do, we want to maintain that path, keep the trash, all the trash in the downtown areas and on the path. Keep everything up to speed, up to par. We're not using the bathrooms yet there. Obviously, that doesn't make sense at this point in time at McCaddy. But eventually, those wouldn't have been open until May 1st anyways, probably around the end of April, beginning of May. So we're just trying to stay as elastic as we can in terms of how and what we open, when we open it, so that it makes sense within the community. And keeping things pushed back as far as the path. If we have to trim it, we will go out and trim it. If we have something that is of a concern to anybody, please let us know so we can address that. And then we'll take care of any issues that are there at the path. So we are going to maintain that. DPW 100% is on board with doing what they have to keep the path open, to keep the park as much as we can, keep it clean, even though we know we're not allowed to have the people play with their kids there. We still want to have it be a place that people can gather and have fun and throw a Frisbee around or do whatever. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. And you're right. I mean, we have been quote unquote blessed with Michigan weather here in April where there's no need to go out and be mowing those lawns at this point in time just because, more likely to be shoveling the snow or plowing snow than it is with the actual need to mow the lawns. But most certainly, hopefully the weather will turn here shortly. Things will warm up and we'll be able to get back to those types of activities again in a very safe manner. Any other areas of the DPW or utilities that you'd like to call out at this point in time?
In terms of what we've been doing, I think our departments what we've been doing has worked up till now. We've been really blessed. We've changed schedules so many times. I feel bad for the staff, but they have been troopers, every single one of them in all the departments. Some of the ideas were their ideas that we implemented in our larger crew, the DPW. We went to an A-B type thing. So we had a A shift and a B shift, and people were not cross-contaminating one another, if that makes sense.
Right.
We've had people at the water wastewater side. A third of the staff has been working midnight shift since almost a month now, and it's been working great. So there are things here at the plant we can have them do in the off hours that make sense on the wastewater side. So it's been great. It really has. People here, the morale's been great on both departments. Everybody's really rolling up their sleeves and getting done what they can with what opportunities we have. You know what I mean? So it's been really good.
Cool. Well, Doug, thank you for coming out here today, and do extend a thank you to everyone there at the Utilities Department and the Public Works Department. Really appreciate all the hard work you guys put in year round, and most certainly these very challenging times. So thank you so much for joining us here today.
No problem at all. Thank you as well. Take care now.
Okay.